On this week's NLB, I talk about saving Mr. Banks. Dan Trachtenberg stops by to talk about the Xbox One launch titles and a new handheld for your Vita. It's Tearaway. All that and more coming right up. Welcome to Newest, Latest, Best. I'm your host, Jeff Cannata, and only slightly uncomfortable from a huge Thanksgiving feast. Thanks for sticking around after our little break for Thanksgiving. We got a great show for you. Let's get right to the newest. Saving Mr. Banks is the story of the making of Mary Poppins. Now, this is something I had no idea. Of course, growing up, I watched Mary Poppins over and over again, just like any kid, loving that movie. I had no idea how this movie was made, and it's fascinating. Evidently, the author of the Mary Poppins book series, P.L. Travers, was a reluctant entry into the film world, to say the least. This is the story of how she begrudgingly gave up the rights to her books to become a film to Walt Disney, but in doing so exerted an incredible amount of control over every little detail to the point of driving everybody crazy. But what this movie is really about is the backstory of P.L. Travers herself, her young life growing up in the early 1900s with a father who was an alcoholic. This is a movie with stars coast to coast, wall to wall. Every tiny part is a huge name. Of course, you got Tom Hanks as Walt Disney, you have Emma Thompson as P.L. Travers, you have Colin Farrell, Paul Giamatti, Bradley Whitford. The list goes on and on and on. And it shows the quality and just care that was taken in making this movie. It's really lovingly made and lovingly recreated some of these great moments that we all know and love from Mary Poppins, the behind the scenes of how they came to be. Now that is actually the spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine of that backstory of P.L. Travers go down, at least for me. That was the least interesting stuff, and it takes up a large portion of this 2 hours and 6 minute long movie. You're often in 1906 hanging out with young P.L. Travers, the little girl, in her sort of little house on the prairie. And that stuff has emotional resonance and gives you a lot of explanation for how she is now, but really isn't the fun stuff. It isn't the stuff that gets you in the door to that movie. That stuff is watching Tom Hanks channeling Walt Disney. It's hanging around on the Disney lot. It's going to Disneyland in those early 1960s and seeing how this classic was put together and the real strife that was behind the scenes of everybody fighting for control and trying to make the movie one way and trying to make the movie another. Emma Thompson is spectacular in this movie. I really hope she's nominated for an Academy Award. Her performance is just wonderful. The character is spectacular, and the fact that you know this was an actual person, and this movie does that thing that I love real life stories do. In the end credits, they show the real pictures of the people, and they actually play some recorded moments of scenes that were recreated in the film. So you hear the actual events happen, and you realize just how true to life some of this stuff was. I was crying like a baby at the end of this movie. I think it's a beautiful musing on art and life and how fantasy really does have a place in modern life and can be as fulfilling as real life and is essential, and storytelling is essential. So if you're like me and you love great storytelling and you live in the fantasy world, you're gonna just adore this movie. And if by any chance you happen to really like Walt Disney, the Disney characters and the Disney theme parks and the whole wonderful world of Disney, boy, this movie is going to be like candy to you. It really is about that magic. I liked it a lot. I mean, it's not one of my favorite movies of the year, but it certainly is a wonderful experience that I would highly recommend to everybody, simply for Emma Thompson alone. Great movie. Check it out. Well, I managed to persuade my old buddy Dan Trachtenberg to come out of retirement to talk about the Xbox. We're going to talk about the Xbox you are now a bona fide hardcore gamer.
And we're shooting this in your set where the XBOX is located.
Yeah, we can't say that word.
So we should be careful.
You can't say it.
Yeah.
I know, it's listening.
Yeah.
I'm
sure
really
it will
weird.
turn on at some point during this conversation.
Yeah, we have.
In fact, I shouldn't say the word "on" so close to the word of its.
It's true.
title. Yeah.
It's true. It's literally sitting right there.
Yeah.
So, but you have both the PS4 and the XBOX.
Yes.
And so are you? I mean, I don't want you to compare. It's not about comparing the two right now. Just tell me about your experience with the Xbox. And you have Forza.
I have Forza. I have Dead Rising 3, which we've been
playing a lot of co-op
together.
Yes.
And I have Ryse now. Yes.
See, we haven't talked since you got Ryse,
right,
so I'm very interested to hear what you think. But let's start with Forza.
Okay.
You and I have played that together as well.
Yes.
Which has been a lot of fun.
Yes. And interestingly, both you and I are the same in that we don't typically enjoy sim racers.
Right.
We usually only play Need for Speeds or Burnouts or
arcadey ones.
Yeah. But everyone was raving about, really, for me, it was Adam Sessler's review, not to mention a competing show and network for Vision 3.
Right. Well, but Adam really did a great job, I think, of articulating a newbie's joy in the game, because he was a person who had never really enjoyed those games either.
Right.
And you and I have also liked previous Forzas, but just never really gotten into them.
Yeah, it's true. In college, I think I used to play with friends.
Didn't we review 3 or play 3?
It's possible. You bought it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Racing wheel.
Or we played at one of the gaming.
24-hour
gamings.
Anyway,
so yeah, Forza 5. First of all, it's great looking. I'm not a big car guy. I am in my older age. I'm becoming more of a car guy, and I'm enjoying. Love Top Gear. Love the Top Gear, and they do a good job of making you. Even if you're kind of like what Rudy does for football, if you're not a sports guy, some great movies about sports make you want to be a sports guy, and this game makes you want to be a car guy.
Yeah.
It doesn't push you aside and make you feel like I don't even get what's going on with those Top Gear intros to every league or whatever it is.
Jeremy Clarkson coming in and being like, cars, they're the greatest thing ever. You're like, yes, Jeremy.
They are great and
He's my
beautiful.
second favorite Clarkson.
Nice. Kelly? Yeah. Or Patricia, I was thinking.
Well, okay.
She's probably
third favorite.
Yeah. Anyway, great. So, great looking, and I started out getting, when you buy a car, you can choose great designs that are from the internet, like the people have made.
Well,
there's a variety.
There's a variety.
But then I was like, oh wow, I'm not participating in one of the most fun parts of this game, which is designing a car, and knowing that when my Drivatar is out there, you guys are seeing like my custom, So
Side note, your Drivatar's a dick.
Yeah, all of them are dicks.
Well, that's the problem, is that I feel like it determines your Drivatar based on the first 2 races.
Or the first
mistakes. When you're just like,
yeah.
So
the Drivatar thing is incredible. That's what really makes it fun. And we were debating about, how much is it gathering AI based on how we play? How much is it just our names above something? Even if it was just our name above something, it already personalizes it. And I mean, I kind of wish that when I played single player Call of Duty or whatever, it's like putting my friends in the game somehow. And now with like Connect facial things, when I'm shooting someone, Uncharted, like the villain is, whatever it is, it's pretty exciting. I love that personal touch. So the Drivatars make everything way exciting. Though I wish, they can't correct this, but it is a bummer that if I beat your Drivatar, it's a thrill. Mm-hmm. Yet, if you still had a better time for when you actually raced, I'm still not. There's like no way to deal with. My Drivatar isn't actually me. Yeah, so which is understandable. It's just a.
But then you can jump into the what's it called?
Ghost mode, Ghost Rival, or whatever, where you're
actually fighting your actual lap.
It's absolutely true. I'm enjoying the variety of tracks, though I kind of hit a wall where I feel like I'm racing the same tracks over and over again.
How do you feel about the microtransaction stuff? It's been a lot of.
Has not affected me one iota.
You don't have any.
I don't even have a. In fact, what I don't get yet about the game, or might even be an issue that I have with it, is that like people are bummed with the microtransactions and that all the best cars cost money and they can't get them. I feel like every time I have enough money to get whatever car I want in a league, and I've hopped around only a little bit. I'm kind of going in order. I don't quite get when I will feel like I've accomplished something in the game.
Right.
Which goes against what Cesar was saying, what was so enticing to me. But I'm getting now the feeling of, I'm just playing more with different cars? I'm not like, I mean, I'm getting better skill-wise, which is exciting and fun, and it's fun to translate that into multiplayer, but I don't know, and now I'm reflecting on, were racing games always like this? But I don't know when I will feel sated. I don't know what goal I'm trying to reach. Because I feel like if it's to get better cars, I'm slowly getting there. I don't know why I would need to spend money on them, but maybe I haven't. Are you finding anything?
I mean, I totally get what you're saying on that point because, it is just this churn of there's always a better car, but it's not like getting this better car is going to make, it's not like getting better armor.
Right.
You know, it's not like, oh, get +7 to swords.
Some of them, in fact, are worse.
Or harder to drive.
And not worse, not in a, but like, because it's harder, it's different.
Yeah.
All the cars make you attack things differently, which is fun, all that's great. It's just that I just don't know, is there an amazing, because you can race the exotic cars halfway through the game. Like, at any point you can choose.
I think you have to have car lust, which neither of us really has.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Let's talk about Dead Rising because I found that to be really surprisingly fun, and especially in co-op. And I think co-op is really where it shines.
Yeah.
And the big open world is great because you can be far apart from each other. And I told a story on We Can Confirmed of you going down, getting losing all your health, and we being far apart from each other. And you're like, you gotta revive me, and I run over to revive you, but I needed to have food, and then you're like, find food, and there's a store right there.
That's what was that's a great mechanic. It's a good suck mechanic. It seems like, oh, why can't I just touch the guy and he's revived? Why can't I have a stim pack or whatever? Yeah. But we aren't soldiers. Like, this is in the real
you need a Big Mac.
Zombie world. Yeah. And like the fact that I'm like, I can see the store right there, and you're in the store, you have to go get. I mean, it feels so like the player experience is like the character's experience.
Yeah.
And
all the weapons, the combinable weapons, I feel like every single time we found a weapon to combine, it was fun. Yeah. Every single time.
Yeah, they're all really cool. They all work differently.
Yeah.
Graphically, they're all interesting in different ways. And I'll even say, I think the combat system is kind of fun because I'll say in a bit more about Ryse, but I found myself playing Ryse kind of wanting to go back and play, finding more challenge in not that it's a great combat system, but there's something fun about it beyond just look at what that weapon does. Like, there is a dodge roll that you have to employ, and there's a great leveling system that you level things that you want to I want to see what those things do. It's not arbitrary, and it is fun. It because I haven't fallen in love with the story. I'm only going back to have that visceral fun. I'm not going back to like necessarily, I don't feel the urge to see the end of the game. And I have been like, there's been days where I've been like, I really want to play Dead Rising, but oh no, Jeff, should I play without Jeff? And a part of me is like, I don't want to out level without you. But it's like, now you're going away. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should just, maybe I'm free to play with that. But then when you say like, it's a great co-op experience, and I'm like, is it as fun? Also, by the way, the difficulty doesn't scale. So it's a very difficult game that becomes manageable with a co-op partner. So part of me is sort of like, I don't want to have a bad time.
Right.
So,
are you having a bad time with Ryse?
Ryse, I'm
because there's been such negative talk.
Yeah, there has been such negative things. And I'm a hair's breadth away from the end of the game. And it's a very short game, which I like. Maybe I'm getting older, but I love short games. Other than open world, like things I just want to continue to sandbox in. It's not a great game, and the game that combat system is fine. It's somewhat fun.
Does it feel like Batman?
It doesn't feel like Batman because there's first of all, Batman, you unlock moves, and this is the same moves in the first level, the same moves in the end, and you do them over and over. It's what every review I've seen I was hoping was exaggerating it, and they haven't been. It really is the same moves over and over and over again. It is fun, like that is good. It just gets redundant. And what I find interesting about the combat system is that it's very easy to progress through the game with it, but it's very challenging to play it perfectly. Like just even put a magnifying glass on those kill moves.
Right.
You probably have heard that like you have to hit Y and X, and I love that it's the change. They changed it from you see a big button prompt to just the villain's body changes color. That's great because now you're looking at their body. You're not looking at a button prompt. Here's the thing though. All that said, everyone, as with every other review that says this is a pretty game, you know, the graphics are great, you show off your system with it, none of those people that are saying that are putting enough exclamation points at the end of that. Oh. This is like, it might have been worth $60 to see that. I mean, I should have brought it over to show you. It is, and when you watch videos of it online, I'm telling you, this is next gen. Yeah. I mean, this is,
you know, I got
this is the
crucified
cutscene,
for saying that.
No, the cutscenes, and then you play. There's no, the idea of seeing an especially going from what I'm playing is the latest Assassin's Creed, no. And the idea of like Assassin's Creed looking like this or Uncharted looking like this is insane. And by the way, not just powerhouse graphically good looking, art direction wise, scenes at dusk and dawn and morning light and gray. I mean, it all is gorgeous, lush jungles, and I mean, it is crazy good looking. Crazy good looking. I mean, we can't put enough emphasis on that.
Well, now I want to play it.
Yeah, it's.
But is it like
looking at?
Is it like you can get that from 5 minutes of it, or the 4
no,
hours
there's great
of it?
Set pieces that happen. It's not a great game. It's just really insanely good looking.
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, Killzone was very good looking. Yet I didn't want to continue playing it because of the gameplay. This gameplay I didn't find
serviceable.
Rough. Yeah.
So overall, you feel like Xbox One's launch was
good. Yeah, very good. I wish that there were a Resogun.
Right. I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess Killer Instinct, is that?
Yeah, you're right. Which is also an attractive game. But that's pretty one note.
It would be great if there was an equivalent to Geometry
Wars.
So
then I could like, if I don't want to embark on,
and especially with the TV integration stuff, where you could, like, I've been using Forza that way of like having the football game on and just playing Forza, but I would love to have something that's a little less, even more mindless.
You've been having football on while you race in Forza?
Yeah.
Your driver must be like, that's why he's like,
anyway, well, thanks for that. I also have had a great time with the Xbox launch lineup, and I mean, and the PlayStation 4 launch lineup. It's been really fun, and even though it feels like there weren't a lot of titles, there was a lot of fun to be had with both of them.
Indeed. I concur.
It's time once again to give you some best bets to take you into next week. My best bet this week is a new video game that might be overlooked in this tsunami of new console releases and huge third-party AAA titles. It's a smaller title, one for the PlayStation Vita, and it's from Media Molecule, the guys that did Little Big Planet. And it's a charming, charming game with a whole bunch of personality. It's called Tearaway. And the idea of Tearaway is that as you're playing on the handheld system, the PlayStation Vita, you are being addressed by the people inside this little world. It constantly shows a little camera pointing at you, and you can see yourself inhabiting their sun. There's a tearaway little hole in their world, and your face, your big old face, is popping right through. It's a pretty ingenious way to bring you into the world, and the whole thing is really charming. It's a whole world of people made from pieces of scrap paper. Paper curling around things, paper folded up, paper in origami shapes of all kinds. You control a little man who kind of looks like a postage stamp with hands and legs, and you try to maneuver him through the world using all kinds of the features that are unique to the PlayStation Vita. Back touch, front touch, rotation, camera movement, all that stuff. It really makes the game unique to that handheld experience, and it's really charming and fun. I'm having a blast with it. It's got so many beautiful little touches, little pieces of the world that you get to find, and it's got that Media Molecule craftsmanship that they're really known for. I hope that anybody that has a Vita, this is a must-buy, and I hope that people give the Vita a shot, especially in conjunction with the PlayStation 4. Right now is the best time to hop on that handheld system. I'm totally digging that game. All right, got a couple of friends, Shawn Andrich from Gamers with Jobs and Anthony Carboni from Revision 3 to give you some of their best bets.
Hey everybody, Shawn Andrich here from GamersWithJobs.com, and I'm really excited to be here because I get to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart from back when I was about 12 years old, and it's ElfQuest. ElfQuest is freaking awesome. When I was 12, I used to have to go to the library after school because my dad would drop me off, and I'd have to hang out there for a while he finished work. So I had a chance to read a lot, and ElfQuest is a graphic novel I discovered in hardback form. The original was actually a comic book series that was self-published back in the late 70s and the early 80s. And it is kind of an early forebear to this kind of self-publishing system we have right now in comics, with a lot of smaller publishers and a lot of more niche stuff. ElfQuest was one of the first. ElfQuest is cool because when you're a kid, it's about this tribe of elves, and they need to survive. They're not actually from the planet Earth, but they land on Earth kind of around caveman, early man period. So there's a lot of tension stuff there between elves and humans and things like that. And the art itself, it can be a little off-putting or strange at first, but it actually holds up really well, where I find a lot of Golden Age comics, I don't find them super engaging. ElfQuest I still really like reading, and when I was a kid, what I loved was just the fights. You know, the elves, they were wolf riders. You know, I liked some of the relationships and stuff, but not a lot. I was mostly there for the action. As an adult rereading it, a lot of stuff doesn't hold up, but ElfQuest is cool because when you read it again, you realize there's all these great themes. There's themes about leadership, there's themes about the ego, about enlightenment, about the nature of love and relationships, and all of these bigger questions that I had no chance of appreciating when I was a kid. So rereading ElfQuest now as an adult is actually really good, and really interesting and actually really engaging. ElfQuest in a lot of ways is way ahead of its time with the different types of relationships, with concepts like polyamory and all sorts of stuff that is in a lot of ways still struggling to be accepted by society. So ElfQuest is really cool. Now you're thinking, this thing's out of print. There were so many comics back in the day. How could I possibly read ElfQuest now, Shawn? Well, I have good news. Go to elfquest.com. You can read the entire thing for free. All of it. And a lot of the stuff that used to be black and white had color editions put out in special editions. All of the stuff online is in color. So you go to elfquest.com, you can read their entire series for free. So you have nothing to lose and lots of great content to enjoy. So go check out ElfQuest. It's really awesome.
Okay, I want to talk to you about my current obsession, which is this game called Risk of Rain. It came out last month on Steam. It's $9.99. It is this insane exploration platformer with all these randomized aspects. So you are a space explorer, your ship explodes, you are trapped on a hostile planet. Your goal is to explore 10 zones of this planet, finding the teleporters in each zone, which will eventually get you to safety. You can choose from a bunch of character classes. They all have different special abilities with cooldowns. They all move differently. Really nice class-heavy system, which I love. But then what gets really, really cool about this is that there is permadeath. You have to play through the game from beginning to end, and the difficulty level is constantly moving upwards. There's a little counter in the right-hand side of the screen telling you how the difficulty level is moving up with every second you spend in this game. So here's the deal. As you're moving around as this character, you've got to level up, right? But you also have to find all of these different items, unlock these chests that give you these items that give you passive buffs or active abilities. So things that will increase your speed, things that will increase your firepower. And if you don't collect these things, you're obviously going to be underpowered when you get to the next zone. But if you don't rush from teleporter to teleporter as quickly as you can and get to the next zone, not only is it going to be harder because it's the next level, but it's also going to be harder because that difficulty counter keeps clicking upwards. So it's this constant tightrope balancing act of, do I try to rush and find the teleporter and get to the next level, or do I power myself up as much as I can and take on the higher difficulty level because I know that I'm going to find some great items on this level and become a super amazing badass character that can handle it. And what's really great is all of the items that you can unlock are not unlocked from the beginning. So the more you play through and get achievements and score different sorts of goalposts and do different things in the game, you're going to unlock even more weapons and even more character classes and even more passive items. So every time you play through, you don't level up, you don't start off in a better situation, but your situation could potentially be better overall. So it's got that nice stick and carrot unlock system to it that I love too. And because everything is randomized, the orders of levels are randomized, the places you drop in, where items are, where the teleporter's randomized. There's enough different about it every time to just keep feeding that beast that wants a new experience, right? And everything comes together in this incredibly super systems heavy game that I can just really sink my teeth into. And I love seeing all this roguelike stuff, right? Things like Rogue Legacy, things like Spelunky, things like Desktop Dungeons, all these roguelike systems working their way into other genres and into games as a whole, because it gives so much replayability and there's so much there for people who are just genuine game nerds, right? Who just love understanding the rule set and love trying to beat a system. And Risk of Rain does such an amazing job of that. The pixel art is a little... I've got pixel fatigue. I'm a little over it, but it's done really well. And because of the sense of scale of the game, because of how tiny the characters are, it kind of works in a way of giving you that sort of experience of being in a vast alien world. So I let it slide. And the music is absolutely unbelievable and sets the tone so beautifully. It's one of the best game soundtracks of this year, probably of the last few years. So Risk of Rain, $9.99, Steam, PC. It is the jam. Try it out. I miss you, Jeff.
That does it for this week's newest, latest, best. Big thank yous to Shawn Andrich and Anthony Carboni. Also, thank you to Dan Trachtenberg for hanging out and talking video games with me. Thank you for watching, and until next week, do your best.